All right. Hi, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for April of 2022. I'm starting to remember to mention this at the readings now, but just know that this can also be a timeless message for any of you out there. So I really believe tarot is meant to be healing and just mostly insightful, not necessarily telling you a guarantee of things, but more of like an energy that's like kind of like a therapy of sorts. But anyways, it's been a long time since I've been consistent on this channel, and I really hope that I get to be consistent now. So something I should mention is my goal has been to make these readings 30 minutes at most. I'm really trying to create a time restraint on myself, not in like a really like pressury way, but like just as a personal goal. Like it's what I want to do. Like I actually want these time restraints. But I'm trying to limit these zodiac readings to 30 minutes. So if this ends up being 30 minutes, that'll be like a dream come true. But yeah. And just know that if it is, that means technically it'll be shorter than all the other readings. But that's because that means we actually got it. Or I did. Like that I got the reading the way I intended it to like go. But anyways, the flow we're going to be doing is an energy reading overall for the month of April. Then the next section of the reading is going to be a love reading for April. And then the final part is a career reading for April. And the love and career readings are whatever that means to you. If career is actually to you a reading on your finances, or if it's actually a reading on your health or your diet, well-being, all of it, however that category. And same with love. It can be about romance, it could be about self-love, it can be about friendship or connections, it could be all of it. Again, it's what you specifically feel like you want or need out of that topic. And then hopefully those messages resonate and apply with you. Obviously, in a personal reading, it would be easier for me to pinpoint, you know? But anyways, we're going to get started. And hopefully this is a 30-minute reading. So, beginning of the month, we've got, hold on, are all these reversed? Yeah, they are. So, beginning of the month, maybe that's for a reason. Maybe there's a reason I accidentally held this card or this deck in reverse and the other upright. So we've got the Sun card. I think there's polarizing energies going on for you throughout April, at least right now in this moment. We've got the Page of Wands reflecting the Sun card. And so that tells me that things are quite positive for you at the start of April, but you also might feel a little aimless, a little lost, directionless in some sort of ways, like unsure of where this journey is going to take you, even though you feel like it's going to take you somewhere good, positive. Because the Page of Wands is a card, the keywords right here say journey, navigation, and route. So with it being reversed, maybe you don't know where this journey you don't know where this journey is taking you, or you feel like you don't have a good sense of navigation, or you don't have one set route, that there's lots of routes you could take or go about this, and you're not sure which one is going to unfold at this time at the start of April. But that you're feeling quite positive and pretty open to what's going to happen next and what's happening currently. So that's what I'm getting there. And we're going to clarify each of these parts. These down here are clarifiers. So we're just going to go ahead and look into the middle of the month. Again, these cards are all going to end up being reversed, and we'll see if that's all how it's meant to be read. I think so. Like, we got two fire in a row. We got the Sun and then the Page of Fire, Page of Wands, fire and fire. Then we got the Page of Pentacles, which is a page again, the Page of Fire, or the Page of Wands, and then the Page of Pentacles. So we got the Page of Pentacles, and then we've got the King of Pentacles kind of acting in a reversed. And this is creating a really beautiful duality here because in this deck, we've got the major arcana, the Sun, which is kind of like the Emperor or the King of Wands, so to speak, where we've got the Page of Wands on this other deck. Over here, we've got the Page of Pentacles, but instead on the same deck that got that major arcana card. And then in this deck, we've got the King of Pentacles in reverse, which the King of Pentacles is also much like the Emperor. So that's very, very cool, Pisces. What does this mean? Well, not quite 100% sure yet because I was just so fascinated by that. But I'm actually going to look at the card now. So again, the middle of the month, this is very earth-based, where you're actually receiving opportunities definitely by the middle of the month that bring you that stability that you've been needing, that you didn't feel like you for sure had. So I feel like if those of you are worried at the beginning of the month, a little aimless, that feeling of that directionlessness, there's a better word for that. For those of you who are feeling lost in some ways at the beginning of the month, even though you're feeling pretty positive, that could be due to worried of like there's some paths that it could go well that you feel are most likely the case, but you see those possibilities of like things could not go well too. But anyways, I feel like those fears of not knowing where this journey is going to take you get very quickly alleviated and whatnot, probably early on in April, by the middle of the month. I feel like by the middle of the month, it's become quite clear to you that this is working, that you're actually well on your way to building up the King of Pentacles, solid stability that is just like all around long term and good, where you've got a surplus of abundance, financial security, your health is doing really well, in one way or another, you're feeling quite blessed with the resources that come your way in the middle of the month. And again, we'll clarify that. But at the end of the month, we've got the Devil in reverse with the Five of Pentacles. So at the end of the month here, the Five of Pentacles, I do think that generally what's going on here is that you do feel like this is still a rough transition. I think this first month for you is going to be the roughest, the most challenging month financially or physically in some way. That might not sound super pleasant to you all out there, but I don't mean it in a bad way, of course, because the Sun card is literally the most positive card in the deck. So this is your reminder that this is a really good path for you, that you know that you're going to get lost here and there with where things are going, because you know there's going to be ups and downs. And at the end of the month, again, I feel like you'll be evaluating this month and seeing how it was technically difficult to transition. The Five of Pentacles is a card of like really going through a hardship physically, financially, feeling in some sort of way a sense of lack in the physical material world. And I got this reminder from a reader earlier that the irony to the Five of Pentacles is that there's this like building in the background that could provide all that warmth and things should you just walk right inside. So it's like these people are almost in a sense being outside by choice when they could go inside where it's nice and warm. But I think it's because you were taking that risk to not go there because you knew that there was something better, but you would just have to kind of fight through the difficult terrain, the snow, the cold, and this is a good thing. I don't think that this is like really all that's happening at the end of the month. I don't think this is saying that you're in the most difficult times at the end of the month either. I think this is you reflecting on that you are transitioning out of this difficult time. I think this difficult time has been a time for you, Pisces, maybe over the last 5 years or the last 5 months or the last 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 weeks, something along those lines where you can look back at this time frame where you're like, Five of Pentacles, you're like, that was really rough financially or to just maintain physically, you know, like maybe everything was really exhausting on your body physically in previous months. But this month in particular, April, with that Page of Pentacles there, you're seeing how it's so much easier now with these positive changes that have entered your life. So I do think this is, because again, the devil reversed, this is really telling me like that you're clearing this energy, that you're releasing things that kept you bound to this difficult time in your life, that it maybe took quite some time to work through, but that you've really found a way to let go of some dark, heavy, negative emotions or energies that got conditioned into you or projected onto you. And you're like clearing that energy. You're letting it go and releasing it. And with doing that, you're releasing the hardship. You know, in other words, some of you are releasing the need to, or the thought that you have to be out in the cold and everything that pushed you out into the cold to begin with. There's a reason why these people are out here in the cold and why they're not in there. Maybe there's elitism in this environment where, you know, the people in there are like, oh, don't let them in. They're like not allowed to be in this warm space. Like they didn't pay for this, you know, like some sort of like cruelty that makes it make sense as to why, like, you know, like people inside. There's a scene in One Piece where these children are being raised by parents that are feeding them toxicity. They ask their parents why there's um, homeless people or people with like really painful lives right outside their homes. And their parents just tell them that they simply chose that. And then the kids are like, that's so silly. Ha 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 ha. Why would they choose that? They should have chosen this, silly. Like they don't realize their privilege, so to speak. And they don't understand that those people are not out there by choice, but that they were forced out there, and that there's a huge disparage there and injustice in that society. But anyways, there's a reason these people are pushed out in the cold and why they weren't allowed in there. And this is about the past, I think, for you, Pisces. And you're like releasing these really difficult things that make sense. So I feel like Pisces, you really get where this is coming from. You get why it was what set you back. You're like, if you were just not outcasted like that throughout life, that you would have been so much farther ahead, so much sooner on. Like I really believe the vast majority of people in life on this planet, if we were just given proper care, that we would all just be living our best lives and to the best, to our living our fullest life from the get-go. It's pretty much. I mean, we would all still have a journey to go on and stuff to work through, I think. But generally, yeah, I feel like all of you or many of you out there can relate to knowing this, that you're like, yeah, things wouldn't have been this hard if the way the world was a much more loving place. So you're seeing where those things, those chains that bound you within, where they are and how to release them at the end of the month. So we're going to go ahead and clarify all of this. So clarifying the beginning of the month with the sun here and the Page of Wands. I'm just going to start flipping these upright. Well, that's kind of telling me maybe, I don't know. But we get the Supernova card. I'm like, do I want to make these ones reversed? Let's do it. Let's create some of this polarizing energy in the reading, since I feel like it's meant to be read this way. I just feel like it, because this is, I think, the only reading that I think there was maybe one other zodiac sign, but this is like the only reading basically that I accidentally flipped all these cards into reverse. So I'm going to go with it. So instead, I'm making these ones reverse and these ones upright, because this really matches the energy of the sun supernova. It says outburst, explosion, and surprise. So I think Pisces, there's also a really big manifestation for you in the start of April that is going to take you by surprise, that you won't see coming. And this is happening now at the beginning of April. So this could, right now it's March 31st. So this could be tomorrow. This could be within the first week. I'm not trying to get anyone's hopes up, but I really do think some big change is happening here. But it says surprise. So for and the Ace of Swords reverse, I don't think that that this surprise is going to happen so positively for you so soon. I think it's going to soothe this fear of like uncertainty or loss of direction in life, like or like unsure if the path is going to work out. Like you're going to be surprised by how quickly this gets soothed, and I think it's going to happen maybe over the course of the first 10 days of April, because supernova is card number 10 in this deck. Yeah. Clarifying the middle of the month, we've got, oh yeah, that's right, this is going to be this way and this is that way. So now we get the Knight of Swords reversed with the Five of Cups in the middle of the month here. So clarifying this sense of opportunity and abundance for resources, you have some you don't know quite how to feel about it. You've got some really deep, heavy feelings about this because like it says, underlying emotional issues, self-doubt, and fear. So in other words, some of you might be like receiving some amazing opportunities in the middle of the month, but you feel really heavy emotions where maybe a part of you feels like, no, I don't deserve this, or I shouldn't just get to receive that for free. Like, part of you don't want to take the opportunities coming in due to some underlying emotional issues that you're still working through in the middle of the month. But I think I don't think you're going to let these feelings stop you. I think you're just going to notice like something maybe triggering in the middle of the month. Like it's because these good things happen that you've got these deep wounds within you that tells you that like because good things are happening that something bad has happened next, and you end up confused because you're like, at the beginning of the month I understood why I was feeling lost and a little unsure, because I wasn't sure if things were gonna if I was gonna get the good route, if things were gonna really go well. But now in the middle of the month that it's clear to me that things are definitely gonna go well, why am I feeling worried or unsure and lost still? Where is this coming from? So I feel like you're going through some transformation in the middle of the month there. And I'm just going to clarify that card here. We've got the Two of Wands, which says incubation, pregnancy, nurturance, fornax. To me, this is about an idea, planting the seed there. So yeah, this is saying that this is a part of your process. Like this is like going to be something important for you to work through beyond just April alone, but it's something that you're going to have the decision to make. I think you can choose to allow this blessing in, Pisces, and some of you could end up like having these painful, fearful, heavy emotions maybe get the better of you, and you might decide to not take action and not move forward in some sort of way. But I'm getting with the Two of Wands that you're protected and that it's growing, specifically in this deck, that's what that's doing. And we're going to clarify once again, but with the other deck, we've got the Page of Wands here up right now. And this to me is saying that like you're not lost though anymore. You're seeing that you're not technically lost anymore, and that you've got more of a vision of what you're going for. And so that these are just some heavy emotions that you just needed to feel at this time. So I think this is quite a good thing for you, Pisces. I think that this pain has a heart, and that you're empathizing with these difficult emotions that you're going through. And I think you know where they're coming from, and that they create this energy in you that makes you stop or slow down or feel like you're unable to accept people's offers or to accept. It's like you're receiving gifts, and it's just, when you receive a compliment and you don't know how to take the compliment, but you've been practicing taking it, maybe before when someone would be like, oh, you're so cool, you're like, no, I'm not. Deflect the compliment. And maybe over time now when people give you one, you're like, oh, like part of you wants to like deflect it, but you're like, okay, like thanks. It's like, it's difficult to receive sometimes. So I feel like it's more like that. I feel like you can't go wrong here because it's like you're going to receive it no matter what, but your own personal feelings, it's like blushing, you're flattered. But there's definitely some deep-rooted emotions there. So clarifying the end of the month, we've got the Strength card and the Nine of Wands reverse. So yeah, I really feel like you've still got more patience and endurance that you'll be doing here at the end of the month. Again, I feel like things are getting easier for you now. And you still are going to need more strength and patience, emotional strength, emotional perseverance. Like, I think it's not just like night and day that your situation is just totally secured. I think you still got some more to go. But that at the end of the month was the Nine of Wands reverse. This is telling me that you've got the energy for it now, that you're feeling more replenished energetically and emotionally. You really feel like letting go and releasing this difficult energy. And I think that you don't have to be so constantly strong and holding on as much, especially by the middle of the month. I feel like in the middle of the month, it's kind of like you want to feel your difficult emotions, but mentally you kind of like resist it a little bit, and but you still are letting it happen. I think at the end of the month, it's like you're melting that ice around your heart throughout April. You're really getting back to who you are, your true loving self, where you literally just love. I'm kind of like repeating a message that I heard from a recent tarot channel that I discovered. But anyways, I'm getting like, this is saying like you don't need to always be the strongest anymore. You don't have to always be like figuring it all out. Like you can relax. You can let go of always needing to be the strong one and the strongest one and like always doing it all. Like this is like you can rely on your loved ones. You can rely on the universe for support. You don't have to keep these walls up. You can let them go, and you're doing that at the end of the month. So let's see, what is the major overall energy for you of what's happening the most throughout April, just overall in general. For you, we're getting card number, is that 2 or 21? It's hard for me to tell. I think it's card number 21 because this day is February 21st on this calendar marker. And it says kindness, getting back to your loving self, kindness. I think April is a solid month for you, Pisces, of really returning to your wonderful, kind, loving self. Not that ever was gone per se, but like, yeah, you're really getting to let go of having to always keep your guard up and be protective, which that part of Pisces where you really stand up for yourself. Like people think Pisces can be easily pushed around sometimes. Some people, I'll say, not everyone. And people learning that Pisces actually is not to be messed with. Like, yeah, we're super loving and seem like innocent and like whatever, but we're also really powerful and know how to stand up for ourselves at times. So it's like, throughout our journey, we've had to do that. And people have seen how Pisces can be really real. Their truth can be really powerful and like, ow, like that hurt. Like, wow, I really shouldn't have messed with that Pisces. Like they really know how to like make it make sense. Anyways, this is like you're getting to not have to do that as much anymore and getting to just be your kind, loving self where you don't have to always defend yourself and explain yourself because you're surrounded in a much more loving environment of people who appreciate you fully, and then you get to be your full loving self as well. So that's the majority of what's going on in April for you. And I think like Pisces, this is what bothers me the most, of what makes me more crabby, you could say, or more hurt or angry or bitter or vocal and like really um, escalating the energy, so to speak, and needing to stand up for myself. For me, it's that when I get wronged, what I hate the most is that I just want to always be loving on everyone, and to love on myself when someone wrongs me, I'll have to stand up for myself for the sake of self-love, since that's where the core of love for everyone is really coming from, you know? So that's what pisses me off as a Pisces. Let me know if any of you can relate to that. What pisses me off as a Pisces is about being wronged by people, is that now I don't get to just be my loving self all the time. It's hard to do that when I myself am still human as well, and that when I get wronged, I'm going to get triggered and have to really work through stuff, and that it's going to be difficult for me to always be the loving, kind-hearted person when people are overstepping my boundaries or hurting me unintentionally or intentionally. But anyways, April is a month of really a lot of kindness, where you really get to just be your Piscean self. And I think many of you are really excited for that. Yeah. So next we're going to do the love reading for the month of April. And we're getting, oh yeah, this is reverse. I'm going to switch it now because I really don't want to figure out which cards are upright or reversed. I just wanted to hold the deck the right way. So let's see. We get the King of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. So your love message, Pisces, is that you're really being true to yourself. You're really holding strong in your integrity when it comes to love in whatever area in your life, Pisces. We're going to get more general here because we're already 27 minutes in. But anyways, this says knowledge, ethics, integrity, King of Wands. I think you're really following your gut intuition here, Pisces, about what's right for you when it comes to love. And in the middle of the month, message of hope, or a message of peace, hope, and optimism with the Page of Cups there. And then the Ace of Wands. So I feel like periodically throughout April, you're really just making the right call here and choosing love. And you're really moving towards peace and bringing in a new beginning for you when it comes to your love life. So I feel like you're really going through a very positive transformation. And I think, unlike in the general energy for the month where you're going through some major shift in the middle, transformation of sorts, in terms of your love life or your love reading, you're going through that transition in the beginning. And I think I'm seeing how that's the ripple effect. You know, like when you create a shift or a change, the world, you'll notice shifts and changes as a lag effect shortly after. So it's like your change was about yourself in terms of love and healing. And you go through that shift and transition in the beginning of the month, a really big transformation there. So then a lag effect happens for you again in the middle of the month, more to do just in general overall, not just about your love life, but about career, about your health, about all of it. Suddenly you're going through another transformation, you know? But anyways, again, the middle of the month, I just feel like this is all consistent. But I feel like if I were to say where you get the most communication in terms of love is probably in the middle of the month here. But we're going to go ahead and just clarify this all. I saw the Eight of Swords reminding me that, yes, some of you may be feeling stuck and having difficulties communicating or having communication issues when it comes to love in some way. Two of Swords at the beginning of the month. Yeah, really kind of like you're doing what you think is right, but you also don't know what to do half the time. Like you feel like you're left on red or left on pause throughout your love life in the beginning of the month. Like you end up stumped at times where you don't know what the next decision is, or you feel like you when you do, like you feel like you do when an opportunity arises, you know what decision to make, but you feel like the opportunities are so spread out that you don't know what to do in between. Does that make sense? For example, like you feel like there's a crossroads approaching, and during that time you don't know what to do, but when you reach the crossroads itself is when you know what to do, or eventually when you'll have to figure it out. But I feel like you don't like all that time in between. Ooh, the Two of Cups. This is really signaling that you're really coming together with someone, for those of you who are looking for a love reading there. Clarifying the middle of the month. We've got the Star card. Yeah, I feel like the most hopeful time for you is really coming together here. I'm going to put a card in between these, and it's the Queen of Swords. And I do think, like, it's not just all of a sudden in the middle of the month. I feel like it's really early on, the first 10 days. I think you're going to see day by day of April things getting much better for you communication wise. That's my prediction for you, Pisces. So I think communication is really clearing up for you right now at the start of April. That's my hope. In the middle of the month, you're still hopeful about anything regardless. And at the end of the month, in your love life, you're really ready for something new, and you're finally ready again with that Nine of Wands reverse, the Devil's card reversed. You're really ready to move on from a certain period of your life where you had to be surrounded by negative energy. For me, wait, I can't spoil, sorry. Never mind, because the channel doesn't know my big announcement that's in April, but I'll let you all know later. But anyways, you're really walking away from a lot of painful emotions and memories that you didn't deserve to have to go through. Some really messed up stuff. This can be from childhood. This could be anywhere in the past. But anyways, again, at the end of the month, you're really letting go and getting a major release of some sorts of really heavy energies that you carried with you for a long time. It's not your fault that you carry with you. They were chained to you by outer circumstances. And you finally freed yourself from believing in yourself and everything. So that's very beautiful, Pisces. And again, this is bringing you to a new beginning, and you're getting your real fresh start. I think you've kind of got one here. It feels a little half and half. Like, it feels like a fresh start, but at the same time, it feels like stressful because, again, this is something new to you, whatever this is, Pisces. And you need to see how April goes first. But at the end of the month, you become quite more confident that you really got your fresh start, that it's for realsies. I'm really happy for you and for all of us and for me, because I'm a Pisces. Wait, before we continue that, I was going to do the career reading. We're going to get your overall love message of what's going on the most consistently or frequently for you when it comes to love life, Pisces, in the month of April. What the heck? Okay. We are getting, what has happened the most here? We're getting card 34. Unconditional love. That's really good. I know you can't read the words here, but we've got this. And this is the Pisces card too. This character is literally a Pisces in the One Piece universe. So that's really, really cool. It says March 29th, which was 2 days ago. This is for the calendar of 2020. March 29th was a Sunday. Okay, March 29th was a Tuesday this year. But I was like, what if it's the same day? But or today's Thursday. But anyways, unconditional love is what's happening frequently in terms of your love life the most. Like the takeaway that's happening the most, or you get what I'm trying to say. Consistent energy is this. That matches up with the kindness card. Coincidence? I think not. So anyways, finally, we're getting to career. I do think this is the shortest reading so far, though, if I can get this part. So, your career message for the month of April. We've got the Three of Wands, the Dark Matter card, and the Three of Swords. It is in the more career financial aspect that there is more hardship for you, Pisces. And honestly, not that bad. Nothing goes wrong this month, I don't think. The beginning of the month, there's clear communication and expression of where you're at, and knowing that you need to wait for opportunities to come in, and that you can't really push past certain things. You're limited with what you're limited. The Three of Wands is about waiting for ships to come in. So you are where you are, and this is your reminder that you to like not to force things, not to try and um like as a bird, don't try to swim in the ocean. Birds don't swim, birds fly, type of a thing. So it's like, don't try and force opportunities at the beginning of the month. Um, be where you are and let the opportunities find their way to you. And it's going to take longer than April, is what I'm getting from these cards, because Dark Matter says unseen forces at work and karma. So this is something that is going to take time, that you need more healing work rather than having to stress over career or finances. So this is your reminder, Pisces, that in terms of career life, try not to take what's going on too seriously, even though it's very important, because at the end of the month, Three of Swords, it's still you're in survival mode, and that's never fun. That's stressful. But I am getting, you do make it at the end of the month. You are technically fine. It's just not as comfortable as you would like it to be. These are the themes. We're going to clarify those. So clarifying the Three of Wands, we've got the Knight of Wands. Yeah, you're waiting and you're feeling a little unsure and hesitant when it comes to career or when it comes to finances or whatever this pertains to you. Middle of the month, we've got the Death card, which it definitely matches up with the Dark Matter card. Dark Matter, death, This is a transformation going on in your career life. And some of you don't see all of the changes that are going to happen yet, but you're doing the changes. I think you're really aware of what you want to do and what you need to work on. So I think you've got some consistency that you've been working on in terms of career life that you're keeping up with, and you're taking your time with it, and you feel like apprehensive because it's like you're taking it slow and being consistent with each day and worried, but you make it to this really important point where you actually do transform, and it's now become a real part of your routine, is what I'm getting. And that's when it'll start to really grow later on, shortly after and over time. So yes, you've been consistent for the last maybe 2 weeks, or for the next 2 weeks of April, or the first 2 weeks of April. I said last 2 weeks because I'm thinking of at the end of the month, But anyways, this is like, yes, you've been consistent for a few weeks now with your routine of your career life, of your daily life, your structure, and didn't notice a huge influx or anything of positivity or finances or health. But it's like, that's because you were working on it. Now that it's become part of your routine and you've stabilized the energy and you've tried it, you should see some sort of results. They'll be slightly smaller results. It was enough to get you through this month. So let's clarify this Three of Swords. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, it's enough to keep you afloat. It works. It's not the most exciting. It didn't let you get to be super extravagant, but it got you what you needed for some stability at this time in your life. But again, you maybe weren't able to splurge a whole lot this month financially. But I think you'll be receiving that kind of splurge from others who can do that. So in whatever ways that you feel like you had to save this month, I'm getting throughout the month that there's other people's kindness that is going to give you gifts. So you're still receiving quite a lot of resources this month, Pisces. You just might have the Five of Cups. You might just have some internal difficulties accepting those gifts, feeling like, oh, I was supposed, I'm taking from people, I'm taking advantage of other people's kindness. No, it's like, no, you're accurately receiving the same kindness and love that you give for a change. It's like, finally, the universe has balanced the scales a bit, and the universe has got more to do of balancing scales. Karma, again, the keywords here was unseen forces at work and karma. In the middle of the month, matching up with that Page of Pentacles. So that's what we've got. And now, where is the last jar? Where'd it go? There it is. So now we are going to get your overall message of what is happening the most consistently, just overall and throughout April for you in terms of your career life or this career reading. Again, whether this is all about your health or about finances or about anything at all for what you want career life to be talking about for you, Pisces. So your overall message about that, what's happening the most frequently throughout all of April, is never giving up, success against any and all odds, card number 44. Literally the word success. So yeah, you're reaching success against any odds and all odds. Anytime that people claimed or judged you that this is not gonna go well or this is gonna go against, like, you can't succeed like that, all those people, like, you're proving them wrong. Not that it matters to prove those people wrong or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you're literally succeeding against any and all odds. All the, like, even what you also saw that made sense to you, you're like, I also logically don't know how this is going to perfectly work out right now. And against those odds still, nonetheless, you just, with never giving up and your determination of just like, I know this is going to succeed. You're like really honoring Luffy's energy, this resilience, um, determination, where you're like manifesting. You're like, no, instead of saying, I hope I'll succeed, I'm saying, I will succeed, type of a thing. So it's like, you're never giving up pretty much, which explains that strength card at the end. And that doesn't mean that you can't let go and feel your feelings and feel like giving up at times. This is just saying that generally, at the end of the day, you're not going to give up when it comes to your health, your wellness, your career, your finances, whatever it is. And it's what you want it to be, not what someone else wants it to be. Amazing, Pisces. Absolutely amazing. So that's what I have for you. This was the closest I got to a 30-minute reading, I think, at least in the last 4 readings. So I love you all so much, and I hope you have a really good April, and I hope this resonated with some Pisces out there that's not just me. All right. Take care, everyone, and I hope to be back some more. Okay.